Hi, welcome to this short video on a POC of a conversational AI chatbot powered by a AI Agentics framework from Google Vertex AI Agents and Google Dialogflow CX. So essentially, our list of projects, configured couple of projects. So this is a conversational chatbot between a user and a backend chatbot powered by AI Agentics from Google Vertex AI and Gemini. So there's a so typically a conversation goes through a bunch of flows, and each flow has identified the multiple intents, and then you got different kind of entities in a flow. So you got flows and pages and intents and entities, and some of them are advanced tools like generators, some of them are parameters, some other API calls. So you can see the flow like here. So you got a main flow, it starts with a welcome page, fallback page, and all of them are routes. And then the intents and the parameters are extracted and so on. So this is the flow view. So this is the kind of typical flow view. You can allow a similar view called the database view, which is more of a collections view. So I got like a bunch of flows here, and I can just go and edit the flow, this description of the flow, and so on. Or I can go to pages and edit the pages. So here the fulfillment is this, and there's a route. So we go to routes, here are route 2, which is a support flow, and you can see the page ID and the intent ID and the target page ID. So it's kind of a transition between two flows. You can also have a JSON view of it. And then you can see some of the intents. So this is a say like a support flow again. So you got the training phrases. So in a typical multi-turn conversation, you have phrases, kind of training phrases that match the input text by the user. So kind of a fuzzy search match. And then you got other things like entities. For example, here the challenge types. So it's a weight loss program, and there's some challenge type. Right? So some of them are like uh, there's a craving, no? There's a synonyms, and there's a something like emotional challenge, and there's synonyms and so on. You can add values and so on like that. And then you got I got say API configs. So I'm going to make the user pay buy a course in Kajabi. So you got typical endpoint and for any API you got the HTTP method, and you got authorization and so on. You can add parameters. So you can have key value values, and this is a Stripe subscription. Uh, and so generators, one more example, generators like this is you can see. So the summary of all the victories of the user has achieved so far in terms of his control in his diet and so on. So I'm saying this is probably a chat GPT or a fine-tuned model, and then the prompt template, and again you got a JSON view of that. So essentially, these are the entities for that the AI agentics require to to create a dialogue between the user and the bot itself. So there are basically two views. You got the flow view, and you can also edit from here. You can say expand all levels. So you can zoom and stuff like that. You can add more nodes. So you can add more nodes and so on. So this is an editor for creating a flow front end, and the back end is the AI Analytics framework for dialogues, and you've got a database view and a flow view. And the part of the POC I would do is I would deploy and test run. So deploy is I can deploy the latest changes to the backend AI Agentics data and the conversational bot, and also do a test run and then deploy back to production. So similarly I can create a number of projects. So this is a simple a chat and shop, like a tea shop where folks come and sit and chat. So there's a welcome intent, and you see welcome intent. It's got some training phrases. So essentially, folks are chatting over tea break. There's support AI, there's a product catalog as well, and every page has a fulfillment to tell that it's a kind of a goal for the agent it's achieved its goal. And then you can similarly as a database view, you say API. So there's a the product API, So this is an example of endpoint of products. So this will fetch the products and display in the chat window and so on. So this is a comprehensive console, or an administration console, which has a flow view, a collections view, and a deploy, test run, and back deploy to the higher environment. So all in one, it's powered by it updates records to a database, uh, a NoSQL database, and the agentics pick up that data and you deploy and refresh themselves, and then a typical conversation happens between the user and the chatbot.